Thanks for having. Uh, Again, it's an honor and a privilege to attend class this morning as a speaker or a guest speaker. I thank Ms. Laws for the opportunity to share where Eli is from. Eli was not born here in America, in the
Ah,
U.S. Eli was born in American Samoa. So, quick question while Eli sets up my presentation. Does anybody know where or what comes to mind when you think of American Samoa or Samoa? Let's just say Samoa. Don't Google. I see some of you guys are already on your. I know. I see Kainoa already googling some information. Just raise up your hand. Let us know what do you guys think of when you think of the word Samoa. Maybe a person.
I see things in a little bit coming into the chat. It
Okay.
says my dad's in Hawaii, David
Okay.
said. Island,
Nice.
sun, ocean, outrigger, country.
That's
Nice. Um, what
Eli.
else, guys? What else do you know about American Samoa? Samoa. I'm saying it wrong.
Samoa or Samoa, just Samoa in general.
Not too much. It looks like we're a
Yeah,
little.
that's a good thing. That way I don't want to bore you guys, huh? So hopefully my presentation or will not only give you guys an insight, but also give you an idea where American Samoa is and what it is. So I'll be using the five W's and the one H. That's usually a technique I would use with my students as Mrs. Laws has comment. I'm a teacher back home in American Samoa. For now, I'm taking some time off to be with my family here in Oregon. Um, I teach mostly high school students, uh, ninth all the way up to 12th graders. But it's the same thing with our fifth graders. It's just a little bit of a level of a simplicity to make it easier for you guys to understand. But high schoolers are the same thing. They also love pictures, and they like all these different examples of what you're going to be talking about. So I prepared a slideshow for you guys. Eli, can you share my slideshow? That's a short slideshow to give you guys an idea. Again, my name is Edney Apulu Sr. and Eli or
Ooh,
Edney Jr.
nice.
Edney Jr. Is my son. So I will be mostly talking about where Eli and myself is from, and that is American Samoa. But there's a fun history at the end, and I will be showing you. So looking at this picture, this can be a postcard from back home, but it's a customized postcard. Um, those are some of the things that you might Google and find about American Samoa or Samoa in general, because again, I will further explain as we go. But as if you notice that guy on the right, bottom right, does anybody know that famous person? I
Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, I
Yeah.
knew it. So
The
most of you
rock.
guys, yes, that is correct. So he's commonly known as The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. He's from Samoan descent. So his mother is Samoan. So and then some of the other pictures there, a famous football player. He also retired. He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's Troy Polamalu, and he's a very good football player. And then if you notice, there's fire knife dancing, mostly Hawaii looking. It's closer to Hawaii, and it brings you a certain vibe. You guys know what a vibe is, right? So it gives you a feeling of an island. So an island form a form of an idea. So American Samoa is an island, of course, and those are the group of islands that makes up American Samoa. So let's go into it right now. So American Samoa is one of the five territories of the United States. Does anybody know what a territory or what are the territories of America? So a U.S. territory. So there are 50 states. I know you guys know Oregon, Washington. So you know all the 50 states, but did you know the five territories of the United States? I bet Eli doesn't even, or maybe you do. Do you know?
Amadi, go ahead, Amadi.
Okay, go ahead, Marty.
Then Puerto Rico and the and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Lance.
Okay.
So did you know that American Samoa was one of those? Have you heard of American Samoa as one of the territories?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So you're one of the more uh, so informed students. That's what I was going to say. In more informed students. So this is very good. So for you guys to kind of get a feel of what American Samoa or where what and who are from American Samoa, I've decided to just put it in a small presentation form and again kind of give you guys an idea of where Eli's from and also the country of American Samoa. Um, so our islands are from the South Pacific, and experts thought of it or thought that this is one of the most oldest culture in the world. Dated back to like 3,000 years ago, and it's mostly the what you call it, the South Pacific Islands, which involves Fiji, Tonga. So you probably never heard of some of these islands, but they're all group of islands in the Oceania or South Pacific, and that's south of Hawaii. So Hawaii, if you all know, Hawaii is south of equator, but even further down. So it's a 5 hour plane. Just to give you an idea, it's a 5 hour plane ride from Los Angeles or the West Coast, which is us, right? We're Oregon, California, and um, Arizona. So these are the West Coast uh, states, and we're closer to Hawaii. So 5 hour by plane to Hawaii, and then another 5 hours south of Hawaii.
Wow.
That's how you get to American Samoa. So a 10 hour plane ride if you want to go and come back or go at one way. So uh, just to give you an idea. All right. Okay, some of the important before I get to the fun part, this is just important facts that you need to know about American Samoa. So American Samoa is the name of the government. That's the official name. That's our seal right there, the American Samoa. And if you notice in the seal, if you can look real closely, it has the date that it was established as a government. And this was still we're still under U.S. Rule. So again, islands in the South Pacific, and we're governed or owned by America, right? The United States. So 17th of April, that was the date, and then 1900, that was the exact date that we signed an agreement to become part of the United States, and we were used as a naval station at first, but later down it developed into a more government form instead of a naval station. Uh, I know I'm talking too fast right now, but I try to not to use too much of your time. So let me go ahead and read this down the line. Type of government is unorganized or unincorporated. These are big words, but it's easier said that we're not fully under the U.S. since we get to keep our culture, our lands, and our unlike America. A good example to compare to Hawaii. Hawaii is a state because they fully go under the United States flag. But for American Samoa, we're just a territory, but an unorganized one, meaning we're not fully under the American rule because we get to keep our lands, our titles, and some of the stuff that Hawaii gets to give away. Even though they still practice it, but it's mostly so that's why it's something that's uh, I'm very proud of. It's keeping our culture and our lands and stuff. Anyways, Pango Pango is our capital. That's in Tutuila, the island that we're from. There's 7 islands total for American Samoa, and then the main island is Tutuila, and then Pango Pango is our capital. Um, Population, and this is a fun fact. I just looked it up. So our population is only 46,000. Imagine, because this is only a small island. So I've looked up Beaverton since we're now staying in Beaverton. Beaverton has 98,000. So twice as much, twice as more than That's a fun fact. Twice is more than people of American Samoa. So we're a very small island, and that's the only amount ever since 2021, which was last year. They did a census, or they counted everybody. Census is where you count everybody and make sure everybody's accounted for in their country or town or state. And then location, again, you all know it's south of Hawaii, closer to, it's between Hawaii and New Zealand. So New Zealand's way down south, and Australia, and then it's right between New Zealand and Hawaii. And it's south of the equator. I know you've learned about equator already, so south of equator. Official languages is the Samoan language, which is our native tongue. And then we also speak English. As you can tell, yeah, we were all right with English, but our very first language is Samoan. And then we also learn English not only in school, but also we speak English everywhere on the islands. And then our currency, I just wanted to put it on there as well. We also use the US dollar. Since we're under the US, we're a US territory, we also use the same money that we use here back home. We use the US dollar. Moving on to our next slide. Okay, this is
Nora, did you have a question, Nora? I see your hand.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Before we move on.
How is Hawaii a state
Yeah.
when it's an island?
Oh, that's a very good question, and Miss Laws will be happy to help out with this question. But for me, I would say because Hawaii met the requirements, and then they also allowed the United States to make them part of their the 50th state. So they met. There's certain criteria, requirements for an island or even a territory to become a state. So, for example, American Samoa can be a state if they met all the requirements. But one of it is population. If you have enough people in a state or in a island, and if you want to become a state, that would be an option. For American Samoa, not so much because it's a small island, because I think Hawaii has more people. So I didn't look up the current, but then also back then, so I was almost there when I was about to share history, but that's just a short answer for now. But I promise you, it'll become more clear when we get to the next part or after the presentation. But yeah, that's basically a short answer version. Is that would that answer your question,
Nora?
Yeah.
Nora?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So moving on to the next one. Okay, this is the story. So we're very an oral history-based culture. We pass down, and this is like the Native Americans. They also pass down, they also would write pictures and stuff to remind us of our history. But through storytelling, this is the way we were informed from back in the days with our ancestors, and is passed on from generation and generation. So this is the history of how we became American Samoa. The Samoan Islands in the South Pacific was one, right? Germany, United States, and the UK, United Kingdom, or Britain, as you all know him, they were fighting. At the time, it was the late 1800s. It was during the time of around the World War II, right? They were fighting over who gets the most land. The idea was a manifest destiny. So manifest destiny is basically an idea. I forgot who came up with the idea, but it was an idea that so the countries with the most territories or land and money will hold the power in the world. So bigger countries at the time were United States. Well, United States just started to come up. Germany and the United Kingdom or Great Britain. These were the three countries that were interested in the Samoan Islands. If you can see it, there's a map right there. I put it on there, and that's just a picture of the harbor, huh? So I didn't. The first picture had the islands, but so the Samoan Islands had a lot of islands. So seven of them is American Samoa, but um, the other nine islands it belongs to Western Samoa. The only difference between the Western Samoa and uh, American Samoa, because they were divided by the what you call it, the greater countries, the countries that came and colonized it. So uh, Great Britain decided to take Niue Islands. There were other islands, which is in the South Pacific. Niue was part of the deal, so they had a big war, and they ended up they ended up not fighting the war because that's another story. But so and they decided to share, uh, knowing that these islands will go along with their plan. So the Germans wanted to take western part of Samoa because they saw the land. It was very flat, and they had a lot of coconuts. They get benefit out of it. So they wanted to take the western side of the Samoan Islands, which is the other nine, and then America or the United States had interest in which is now known as American Samoa, because the Eastern Islands were more strategic in their plans, because they at the time of the World War they would use they had an idea, they had an interest in the harbor right there. So the American Samoa or Pangu Pangu Harbor, as you can see the picture down there, that is one of the deepest harbors in the world, and it's very strategic how a boat will go in and will hide from the outside threat or enemies. So in 1899 they made this agreement and they signed over the Tutuila Naval Station became Tutuila, which is the islands. So Tutuila is the main island, but all the other islands fall under it. So that's how American Samoa became American Samoa. But all the Samoan islands, they were all under one system. They all have the same culture, language, and everything. But it was divided during the time of this late World War era, because due to colonization and also people taking, remember, manifest destiny, taking much more land and money for yourselves in order to claim power. Okay, time. Okay, again, I wanted to use the five W's and one H to kind of explain in more details. So the first Samoan people in government, again, those are the two flags that the Samoan people are divided under. The first flag right there, the red and blue, is the independent state of Samoa. That was the Western Samoa. So if you look over to the where, that's the Samoan Islands. This is Upolu, Savai'i, and all the other small islands. That's Western Samoa, which is now independent states of Samoa. But this is Tutuila Pangpang. This is the eastern side of the Samoan Islands. Now falls under this flag, the American Samoan flag, the one with the eagle carrying the two staff and has the same colors. If you notice, the colors play a very important symbol. The colors were passed down from the what? From the bigger countries. Remember, the American flag had red, white, and blue. So we kind of incorporated or used those same colors and created our own flag, right? For American Samoa. And then with the British having influence, or the Germans also have influence in Western Samoa, they also use those same colors. Moving on to the next, interest. Before even this all took place, again, these are the two main interests that had an interest in American Samoa or the Samoan Islands. It was military. We were very military driven because we were a naval station. So the colonizers, they would recruit Samoan men because they're very strong built and all that. So they recruited them to become part of their military. And then even till now, we are one of the um, so that's probably so exports. If you guys already talked about exports in your lesson, so export are things that you would sell from for your economy. So I think one of the most export that we in American Samoa gives to the U.S. is military men and women. So we probably have more people serving from American Samoa than any other of the states in terms of compared to population, because that was the way of life and how um, we would make a living. So most of the people serve in the military. So that's why when Miss Laws mentioned Veterans Day, it's a big day for us here in American Samoa, and it's even yeah, we celebrate it. We have a ceremony for all our veterans, and a lot of veterans come out, and also our current serving members of the military. So, we're all for the troops in American Samoa as well, because that's where most of our people get a job, other than playing football, of course. So again, so one of our other export would be football players. A lot of young men are now making it to the NFL, which is something that we are very proud of. So another interest that was also big in the islands was religion. Back in the 1700s and the early 1800s, the British missionaries would travel over to the islands and try to spread the gospel, the word. So in Samoa, that's why Samoan people are very religious, because of this influence and this interest back when it started. So the missionaries kind of already prepared the people to accept the colonizer in a way, because if it wasn't for the missionaries to pave the way, it wouldn't be easy for the people that came later, the soldiers that came later, because again, Samoan people and also all the islanders are very proud people. If you notice, that's how the Native Americans started off with um, when Christopher Columbus came to the United States. They will have conflict because of the interests, and they will end up killing it, or again having conflict. But in these terms, the missionaries kind of prepare the people to be more accepting, and also at the same time relying on God to show them the way, a better way of life. So again, uh, religion and military has a very big influence in American Samoa. And then we're again, you already uh, got that from the beginning. So we're south of Hawaii, and we're the most southern state of the United States. Uh, let's go on. Okay, things to some of the things that you might see or remember from this presentation. Hopefully, I didn't bore you guys. Indigenous people, we both have the same culture and language with our Samoan counterparts, or the other independent state of Samoa. The only difference is we're under a different government. We fall under the that's my alarm. I already set my alarm. So that tells me that I have been speaking too long. So I'm trying to wrap this up. Um, so the people of American Samoa are very close to the independent state of Samoa, and we're basically all family. We're all from the same islands, group of islands, but we were just separated, like the story I told you guys in the beginning. We were separated during two government rule. So same culture. If you notice the guy on the bottom, we make our food, our cook our food outside. It's called the umu, or the outside oven. Most of the things are baked and outside on the ground, and then we would put rocks. So we would heat up the rocks, put level it, and then put the food on top, and then I wish I can show you guys a video. Oh, there is a video at the end. Sorry. And then you put up the rocks, and then we'll cover it with banana leaves, and it will what? It's an oven, so that's a Samoan oven. And then we'll cook up the food. Anything we bake them like that way. Cook them that way. Sorry. Flag Day is a big day. We celebrate it every year, just like Independence Day for you guys here in America. And then for us, yeah, it's the same thing. We celebrate our relationship and our union of becoming part of the United States. And those are some of the activities we do. We do longboat canoe racing, and all the others. The cricket, playing cricket. If you know what cricket is basically another way of playing baseball, but using a bigger bat and 2 stands. And then again, the most important part of a Samoan's life is, again, religion. God, always putting God first. And then your family, you have to take care of your family. And then your respect, gaining respect and making sure respect is the key value. These are the most important values to a Samoan person. And I try to instill that in my kids as well, because that's the way I was taught and brought up in my culture and my and back home. So I know I'm rushing through things, but if there are any questions at the end, I'll be more than willing to answer them. But this is just a snapshot, or in a nutshell, or the more tourism part of the presentation. So hope you guys enjoyed, and go ahead and watch this short clip from YouTube. Credits to YouTube.
I love Pago because it's my home. American Samoa is located in the South Pacific, below the equator. It's the furthest and southernmost U.S. territory. As you drive along the coast, all the way through to the Pago Bay, the water, just everything. It's just really, really beautiful to see it. Tutuila in the harbor is like something you can't find anywhere else. The most beautiful natural harbor in the world. You've got to enjoy the ocean. Go snorkeling. See the island from the harbor. And you can see the majestic beauty of being in this beautiful bay. You've got to enjoy the World War II artifacts that we have. It's a short hike up at Blunt's Point. Kumu is how we traditionally cooked our food. It's like our outside oven. It's right on the ground, and then it's covered with hot rocks. That's what the rocks are heated up, and then you put food and it bakes in there. We bake breadfruit, we bake taro, we bake chicken. If you want to experience the umu here in American Samoa, the best place to start is Tisa's Barefoot Barn. They do an excellent job. Sadie's by the Sea and the Goat Cafe. It's probably the most ideal place for a beautiful view of the bay. Going to the national park in American Samoa is a great experience. One of the most unique things about our national park are the indigenous plants and species that live there. Rainmaker Mountain, as legend tells it, is actually a person. When I grew up, I knew the Rainmaker Mountain as Pioa because that's his name. If you look at the top of the mountain, it looks like a man that's laying down facing up. If a cloud touches Rainmaker Mountain, you can guarantee it'll rain. I like the views, the landscapes. They're just so beautiful. I think it's breathtaking. I think it's mesmerizing. It just makes me proud to be part of American Samoa.
Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Laws. And then I'll give the time over.
Yeah, very cool. Any last questions before we have to say goodbye? Nora, did you have a question?
Yeah. My last question is, what does the American Samoa have to do with Veterans Day?
Oh,
Oh, okay. That's a very good question. So we have a lot of soldiers that have served alongside their American counterparts, and we are very, proud to say that we had a part in serving for our freedom. So it's the same thing as Americans protecting our freedom here in America, and also we're protecting our freedom as well. So we have a small part to play in our freedom. So we also pay tribute to our Samoan counterparts in that sense, same as the Americans. Yeah.
wow. Now I really want to go to American Samoa. How many of you want to go to American Samoa and visit now? Very cool. Thank you so much for coming. That was really great. I learned a lot. And now I want to do some research on American Samoa and find out how many people are in those long, long boats.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. It's time to head to special, so we're going to have to say goodbye,
Right.
but thank you. There's some thank yous in the chat.
All right.
And we'll
You're
see you
welcome,
around.
everybody.
Bye, Eli. Thanks for sharing your dad with us. That was great.
Yeah, bye.